I'm Kylie, I'm 19, I'm a sophomore, and I'm half Chinese and half Vietnamese.
Hi, I'm Alyssa, I'm 19, I'm a sophomore, and I'm half Korean, half Chinese.
I'm Melanie, I am 21 years old, I'm a junior, and I'm Chinese.
So none of my family members or like any of the women in my family were in a Greek organization. So when I told my mom about it, she was kind of confused, I guess, and didn't really know anything about it. So I kind of had to like explain to her through my friends' experiences and just like things that I knew about sororities. And that's kind of how she like understood more about like sorority life.
So I'm the first person in my family to join a Greek organization. My mom is pretty accepting about it because she grew up around women in Panhellenic communities, so she was pretty chill, but my dad was a little more concerned because he doesn't really know the culture as much, so he just was a little more hesitant about me joining an organization like this one.
So I was the first family member to join a Greek organization, and so my parents didn't really understand what Greek life was about. All they had really known was stuff from the movies or social media and stuff like that, so they didn't really understand. But once I joined, I learned more about it, and then that's when I told them, oh, it's like a lot more than, you know, just partying. That's not really what Greek life is about. It's about like philanthropy and just finding community.
So prior to going through recruitment and joining Alpha Chi, I never really had like a negative idea about sororities because a lot of my friends, they went through recruitment the first semester, and at LMU we go through recruitment second semester. So they would always like text about their experience, and then once they joined sororities, they would tell me like all the fun things about it and just like how much they loved it. So I kind of was always excited to go through it. But I feel like on the other hand, my parents didn't really know a lot about it, so it like took a lot for me to kind of like brush away the stigmas and kind of like identify what being in a sorority truly means versus what other people think it means.
Before joining Alpha Chi at LMU, I didn't really have a good sense of sororities because a lot of my friends decided not to go through recruitment at their own respective schools, so I kind of just had the stereotypes that you see in movies, that it's all about the partying and the drinking, but the culture at LMU is definitely not what you would expect it to be, and it doesn't live up to the stereotype.
So when I first joined Alpha Chi, like towards the beginning, I kind of noticed that there weren't a lot of Asian people, and that it definitely was like predominantly white. And I think being a minority, it's always in the back of your mind like the amount of Asian people versus the amount of white people. And when I met Jess, we kind of both like clicked, kind of being that we were both Asian. And it's kind of weird because in our sorority there's only like 8 or 9 people with like partial Asian descent at all, and I think 4 that are full Asian. So like we all kind of like attract to each other and draw near each other, which I think is really funny because it definitely has something to do with like our background and like how we grew up and like our commonalities, I guess. But like overall, I don't think that being Asian fully affects like my sorority experience.
Alright, so I don't really think that being Asian has too much of an impact on my sorority experience, but it definitely does a little bit. I met Jess because she is my twin, and our big is also Asian as well, and she's also me in this video, but like, okay, anyways, so it does affect it because we all do tend to gravitate toward each other. But when I'm at our events, our philanthropy events, chapter, I don't really like see a difference. Like I can definitely notice that like there are very few Asian women in the room, but it doesn't really affect how people treat me,
So I came from a community that's also like predominantly white, in high school, elementary school, middle school, and all that. So when I came to LMU and joined Greek life, I didn't really see much of a difference, even though there aren't that many Asian women in Greek life. But it didn't really affect me that much because I'm kind of used to it. That's how I grew up. But I do find more comfort in finding people with the same cultural or racial background as me. And so that's how I found Alyssa and Jess, my 2 littles. So, yeah.